First of all, of course, want to thank everybody for joining, all you guys in the crowd. Again, know it's a little bit different time zone than other AMAs, but I think it's actually better this way. So we show some love to our, as you're saying, Central Europeans versus, just always only, Eastern folks, um,
Yeah.
which is always great. For those who don't know, my name is Hunter. I am the community manager here at Off-Chain Labs, building Arbitrum. And today I am joined by Pavli. Did I say your name correctly? Pavi?
Yeah, close enough.
Pavli? Okay. You can correct me at any point, by the way. It's fine. The strategy lead over at Thales, a permissionless parimutuel markets, now in Arbitrum. I hope I said that correctly as well. A lot of words going on here.
Yeah, lot of pronunciation across the Thales branding. I can tell you that. It's
How,
like from inception, yeah, always the first topics on every talk is the pronunciation of Thales and the parimutuel markets and all the names. So yeah, it's our thing. No worries.
it's Thales, not Thales?
Yeah, yeah, common from the pro, how do you say, people always go with tails first, then we correct them to tailies, but whatever.
Well,
Close enough.
okay, I'm going to say Thales then. Damn, okay. Not even the first question. Well, I'm glad you told me now because we're going to say that quite a bit. But yeah, in that case, probably if you don't mind, maybe we can kind of just get into before we get into any of the nitty gritty stuff. Can you kind of give us a brief history of the Thales and what brought you guys here today on Arbitrum?
Of course, yeah. So Thales was born early 2021, and it was born as a spin-off of Synthetics binary options contract. And yeah, early in 2021, the Synthetics, the protocol, one of the DeFi founding protocols, decided to kind of support some spin-off products, from their own core contracts. And Thales was the project that was born out of the binary options product that Synthetics wrote. And yeah, Thales was launched as an ETH L1 native project. And at first it was an order book based binary options platform. So we did spin off from Synthetics, but we had a complete redesign of the trading mechanism where Synthetics had this bidding phase mechanism. We changed it to this mintable positions kind of framework. And yeah, so uh, first of all, the branding of Thales was after the famous ancient Greek philosopher Thales of Miletus. And this was because Thales was one of the first known people to actually exercise an option contract in history by cornering the olive market in ancient Greece. So uh, that's the explainer of our branding. And yeah, we launched this binary options platform on L1. It was focused on order book based binary options. And in the first couple of months of mainnet MVP launch, it was pretty quickly evident that the only way that we can actually scale and promote our novel trading mechanism and become user friendly is to deploy on a fast and cheap environment away from L1, and to also on top of that to find a solution of on-demand liquidity solution away from the order book approach, because DeFi people are not really used to order books, so, and especially on expensive L1 environment. And yeah, this was the main focus of Thales for the entirety of 2021. So launch on cheap and fast environment and design a new on-demand liquidity solution. And yeah, our the foundation of Thales is actually this novel, elegant, never seen before mechanism of participating into these binary options, or simply put, price movements of crypto assets. And it's almost similar to vanilla options, but with the all or nothing nature. So some people know binary options also as digital options from traditional finance, and basically The main focus is a marketplace where you can speculate on whether a certain like crypto asset will be above or below a certain price point at a certain point in time. And yeah, the like the key of like Thales and the foundation of the entire Thales protocol is that these two outcomes, like up or down outcomes, which are mutually exclusive, are represented by ERC20 tokens named like up or down logically. And each specific market is like a dedicated smart contract. And that market smart contract accepts like SUSD, which is synthetic stablecoin. And that stablecoin enters the market contract and in return mints both sides of the market. So one SUSD is the collateral for one up token and one down token. And only one of those tokens will be able to redeem that one SUSD based on is the market resolved up or down. And that's the entire like philosophy, and that is the logic behind the whole like Thales platform. And it sounds simple, but there is a lot of cool things that can be built on top of this simple mechanism. And yeah, so one side wins the SUSD, the other side is totally worthless, which is the all or nothing nature of like these binary options, digital options, parametric markets, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, so you can think of it like an escrow contract, which allow holders of the winning positional tokens to redeem the collateral. And that is basically the brief history of 2021. And then like at start of 2022, we launched on Optimism. First, we inherited that alignment from Synthetics, and we were finally on board like a scalable environment. Our contracts are pretty big, and they simply wouldn't work in a slow environment and like expensive environment such as L1. And on the same like launch on Optimism, our uh, great core contributor, co-founder Daniel wrote this like amazing novel Thales AMM contract, which is like super specialized into market making for these specific markets, and that was really not an easy problem to solve. And but it worked, and it worked really well, and we finally in 2022 up until this point managed to scale, build new products on top, build a nice user base, build this entire like really vibrant community, and build like a lot of offerings on top of this simple up and down market that we will touch on later on, I guess. So that is basically the brief history and the foundation of Thales. And I don't want to go any further because I will end up explaining all these like new products and in depth. So, but I guess we will touch on that soon enough.
Yes, yes, please trust me. I love guests like yourself because you can just pretty much talk the entire time, and that's the space, which is great. but
Yeah,
yes, no, just off of that, I think one thing I love to point out is the imagery. I think of Thales, it had caught me from day one. I think I remember when you guys first launched, like and like we wanted to make sure we co-marketed you. Like I sent out a tweet with like the Thales, it's like a little salute sign when you get joining. Um, I don't know. I think like projects that put a lot of thought into the lore and to the imagery of kind of what they're providing is it's just a really cool way to I think to market yourselves. We're gonna get into more of that little later on actually, but I think what probably makes sense though is to maybe talk a little bit about just like so like options protocols generally like they're people who have used arbitrum before know that there are like a couple of different choices when it comes to using options protocols on on layer two. But I think at least what I've noticed is that almost every options platform they have all of them almost have like a completely different UI. They all have like a certain type of uniqueness to their UI. And then in Thales case, you guys have not only obviously uniqueness in your UI, but a uniqueness in the trading mechanism that you guys have. Can you maybe expand a little bit more about how that trading mechanism works?
Yeah, definitely. So as I said, like this is like super novel and never seen before. And like these digital options, binary option solutions are not easy to solve on chain, especially not when you try to have like on-demand liquidity without, having this crazy impermanent loss in these like pool solutions and stuff like that. So basically how Thales works is, as I said before, like one SUSD of collateral into this one market. Like, for example, will Ethereum be above like 1500 in a week? And one SUSD goes into this market as collateral. And for it, you get like one up token and one down token. And in in our case, the AMM contract does all the minting. And basically, it all comes down to how do you price these up and down tokens? Because in the end, one will be worth zero and one will be worth one SUSD. And basically, you need to find the like a probability of will Ethereum be above or below that price. And we wrote this AMM contract, which is an abbreviation of like Black-Scholes algorithm, and based on the like distance to strike price, distance to maturity date, and implied volatility set for that specific asset, our algorithm calculates that probability, and based on that probability, our AMM prices these tokens, up and down tokens, and offers them to the public, to the traders. So you can maybe buy up token from the AMM for like 70 cents, which means like there is 70% probability, calculated probability that Ethereum will be above this price point in a week. And if you are correct and Ethereum is indeed above this price point, you can redeem that token that you bought for 70 cents for one SUSD, netting you a profit of 30 cents on that one token. So that is the core of trading on Thales, basically. And we are really like dedicated to the ethos of having like this permissionless trading platform where we don't have any like central control, where we try to uh, we try to be as immutable as possible. We try to not have any like room for any in-house management of these markets. So that's why we have a really tight relationship with Chainlink, which provides us with this on-chain like prices, and those are used for the algorithm, for the market resolution, and for the calculations and everything. So we are really close with Chainlink on that. And yeah, that's basically it. And this is also cool because everyone knows from the beginning what is his potential loss and what is his potential profit. Like from before you execute a trade, you know exactly like how much you are risking and how much you will win if you buy into this position. And that is like the simplicity of trading on Thales. And we noticed with our community that it's hard to go over the first step of trading on Thales uh, because it's like never seen before. So we are all used to these like Uniswap pools and trading, and vanilla options are also more common. But when traders go over the first step of learning like the core basics of Thales, then you see the simplicity and the elegance and the fun of trading on Thales. And that's basically it. And we have this like central AMM contract, which seeds all these markets with liquidity. And we are also versatile in the choice of assets because whatever price feed on chain we can get our hands on, we can provide markets for those. We just need a solid implied volatility calculations that we derive from ETH implied volatility in some way. And that's it. Our algorithm does all the calculations. And right now on Arbitrum, we are already deployed for a couple of weeks. And we have like DOPEX markets, Magic markets alongside ETH and BTC. And we will soon have GMX markets also as soon as we get our hands on the GMX price feed, for example. And this is to showcase that you can participate into like derivative trading on these assets on chain in permissionless manner. But I don't know any other platform that offers this type of option trading for these, let's call them altcoins. So that is also one cool thing about Thales and the versatility and simplicity of this way of trading, I guess.
On that topic of operating in a way that makes the most sense from like a decentralized point of view, I think I noticed an announcement you guys made the other day about a different type of decentralization, and that being, I think, having more different types of front ends. Is that correct?
Different type of what?
Front ends, like a
Oh,
UI.
front ends. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So we are in like communication with this provider of decentralized front ends, and that is we believe that is one of the main frontiers of DeFi, like main decentralization. So we have these like immutable contracts. Every protocol has these like contracts which are immutable, decentralized, and that is super cool. They are unstoppable. But if you don't have a proper way of accessing them in a decentralized way, then it's not easy to tap into contracts themselves for the end user. So we also put the main focus on trying to find a solution for the centralized front ends, which are also like immutable and also safe, because we already saw a few, let's call it like dangerous precedents this year, like where malicious like entities could tap into these DeFi front ends and prompt these malicious transactions to. So security is also important here, but yeah, we are constantly like trying to improve on the decentralized front, not only from the automated like contract based trading, but also from the user experience and front end based angle. So I think that's important for every protocol to chase. And yeah, I guess that's it.
No, that's great. I wanted to comment on that real quick because I truly think stuff like that is very like, I think it's overlooked by a lot of like by a lot of people building, mainly just because I think most of us are heads down, just kind of like trying to like advance the protocol itself, making sure that like there are like more product updates like coming to the actual like whatever the mechanism is, whether it's a trading thing or an options thing or whatever. But I do think like every DApp at some point, I mean, sooner rather than later, of course, especially like you said with a lot of the recent news coming out, like decentralizing like as soon as feasibly possible, I think is always like the best bet. And that can happen on so many different layers, including the front end, which people I feel like kind of forget about sometimes, but it's really important for sure.
Yeah.
I think then kind of looping a little bit back to like the trading mechanism there. Is there like, I mean, like, I guess from your standpoint, like what can be built on top of you know the current Thales trading mechanism like currently? Because I think there are a couple of markets that are available on your platform, but I don't want to speak for you, so I'll let you go.
Yeah. So basically, really early on, we found out that since for this like first MVP product, we only had like up and down markets of crypto assets, and all we needed is like on-chain feed of prices, and that same feed is used to resolve markets. Like if price is above the strike price, up are the winning tokens. If the price is below strike price, down are the winning tokens and stuff like that. So we were kind of, it was evident that our contracts are so simple and elegant, and this trading mechanism is so versatile and simple that whatever we can get our hands on in regards to like the probability of certain on-chain events and the resolution of those events, like you need these two data points on-chain, and you can build uh, daily markets around them, and on top of that with an automated market maker that we developed. So we need like pre-event probabilities and post-event resolution, and this means that you can build a lot of great things on top of this elegant mechanism. And maybe the best first example are ranged markets, which is our new product that doesn't focus on up and down markets, but it focuses on in and out markets. This means that it focuses on will this crypto asset be within this price range or outside this price range at the maturity date. So instead of like using one strike price to see if it's above or below, it uses two strike prices where they build a range. And for example, like will Ethereum stay within 1300 to 1700 in a week, or will it end like this week beyond that range? And we use the same algorithm to calculate the same probabilities, and it's like it was pretty trivial to implement because it's simple calculations if you have the probabilities for these two strike prices. And yeah, like now you can on Thales participate into these markets, which some of you even call like volatility markets, because you basically short or long volatility for these assets. And I think that's like super cool because there is no other place where you can do this, and it's actually also really fun to trade. And for example, for the past couple of months, the traders that kind of position themselves to short volatility, as they should, because the markets were so boring. And if you see the daily chart of BTC and ETH, it was like a straight line, and they did really well shorting volatility on Thales into permissionless manner and stuff like that. So that is something that you can do on Thales. You can do like you can't do anywhere else, and that is one of the example of what can be built on top of these contracts. And you also have an automated market maker providing you on-demand liquidity. But not only that, but we were also approached by Chainlink, and they told us like, hey, we have these sports feeds on chain, and we have pre-game odds from like Pinnacle and whatnot, and we have post-game results data on chain, and that's all we need to implement the same mechanism towards like sports positioning on sports events. And I think we kind of found a perfect solution that is like, I think for many years people are trying to kind of build on-chain sports markets, but everyone, like when they hit this wall of how do you provide liquidity without like wrecking like the collateral, they give up. But we, with our AMM developments and this like novel trading mechanism, we, I think, developed the first viable solution and successful solution for permissionless on-chain sports positioning. And basically, it works like instead of minting up and down tokens on crypto prices, you mint a home win, away win, and draw tokens. So these are three exclusive outcomes compared to the two that we are used to crypto markets. And it's basically this completely same mechanism. Chainlink provides us with probabilities. Like we don't have an algorithm now, but Chainlink directly provides us with probabilities of like sports games, and we price these tokens based on that. And one SUSD into a certain game contract means like one home win token, one away win token, and one draw token, and only one of those will be able to redeem the one SUSD. And you can buy those before the game for certain amount of cents on the dollar, and that's it. And I think that is also, we personally think this is one of the flagship products of the Thales protocol, which is launched like a couple months ago and already like really boosted our community and interest. And I think it really has the potential to bring in massive amounts of users into Web3 that are not, natively familiar with crypto at all. So that is also one of the major like examples of how can this elegant trading mechanism build these new products on top. And also you can like in the future, who knows what on-chain data we will get. If we get like probabilities for elections maybe in the US, and we also get like resolution data for those elections, we can also provide these election markets, prediction markets, like sky is the limit. So uh, that's basically Thales, in the essence. So
I love that. And I think that's honestly what makes it so cool. At least like when I was checking out like the DApp earlier, I noticed that there was like the regular markets, and especially I mean right below that like other ranged markets. And I think it's so beautifully displayed, and like I think it makes so much sense. Again, like and that means a lot, for an options protocol.
yeah, like UX
Makes
is
sense.
really important, I know. And we're also working on further improving. Like I had this recent brainstorm where imagine if you had like a straight line as a UI, and that line is like price line of ETH, for example, and it's a chart where you can just like click on this line and choose your strike prices and build your own ranges and stuff like that. So also like UX can also be constantly like improved and made more fun, and we are also trying to encourage like community builders to deploy their own front ends and their own solutions to UX that could be interesting. And yeah, it's fun, not gonna lie.
So you mentioned a little earlier a couple of projects that currently exist on Arbitrum that are integrated into Thales. Do you mind maybe telling us a little bit more about your current integrations that you have and how they're integrated?
Um, yeah, so on Arbitrum, we are mostly reliant on like Chainlink or wherever we want to expand. And Chainlink presence on Arbitrum is like massive. Like we have a really wide variety of feeds, like price feeds to kind of, tap into. And uh, yeah, this is one of the main like points that we need when we want to expand on different networks. And we also live under the ethos of that we are all in the same family, that is the Ethereum network, and we are all working for the same goal of like promoting the Ethereum network, scaling it, and we at Thales want to kind of try to capture as wide user base as possible by deploying on all of these like different L2 solutions, maybe L1s. We also deployed on Polygon and stuff like that. And also one of the key like points is onboarding users to your products. And this is also where we found a really good fit with Arbitrum. You have like a plenty of these onboarding tools. Many like on-ramps also are available for like direct onboarding to Arbitrum. The same ones we encountered also on Optimism and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see these L2s kind of starting to kind of kick into overdrive, so to say, and start like if we kind of the only way for us to scale was on L2s because of our contracts and stuff. I think many projects will also kind of flourish into these growing L2 solutions, such as Arbitrum and Optimism and stuff like that. So yeah, we really found a good fit, and we have like a growth beyond our original expectations on Arbitrum. We have like a really like non-incentivized pure volume, and people seem to be having fun trading on Thales on Arbitrum also, even with our like not complete deployment, like not all features are deployed on Arbitrum. And yeah, I guess we have like markets, range markets, and the referral program, which I didn't also touch base yet. But yeah, I think we will continue on deploying our products also on Arbitrum as well, and try to capture your really large user base also. So yeah.
Our user base is yours for the catching.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we hope it is.
And I mean, I think that's what like truly that is the kind of culture like we try to kind of like cater to, where it's like I mean I kind of made a joke there, but I truly feel like people that are on Arbitrum, like yes they're on Arbitrum because I'm sure like they love the snappiness of the transactions, they love how cheap it is, but they're on Arbitrum at the end of the day because of the dApps and protocols that live here, right? And literally like the same thing with Thales. It's honestly great to be able to offer a product like Thales to people living on Arbitrum, who maybe just want a different type of DeFi experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think as well, like just to like point out, you mentioned earlier that you had DopeX and Magic markets, and for those who don't know, DopeX is another options protocol. So like, I would love to hear like kind of like the thought behind that, as like most people would say, okay, their options, your options, competitors, but you guys were like, no, not competitors, where we can actually work together. It seems like.
Yeah, like we tend to kind of showcase our versatility by listing all these popular markets also. Like Dopex is a vanilla options platform, similar to what we have on Optimism, such as Lyra, and there's also Premia and whatnot. And We just want to showcase our versatility by offering people that try to position on the price movement of these like tokens such as Dopex and Magic and stuff like that. And we are not kind of seeing this as competition, but we are seeing like as a mutual benefit. Like we really believe in this interconnected environment where everyone is working for the same goal of growing this like niche environment that we are all together into. And yeah, it's also maybe useful to for people. It also increases our user base, and also you know people found out about Dopex and Magic tokens and stuff not from whatnot from our platform, and people can maybe uh, by using Thales buy insurance over these tokens. Maybe they have an LP position somewhere where they want to hedge their a permanent loss, and they want to position on Dopex and stuff like that. So it's we are mostly tapping into the price movement of these crypto assets without going into the actual like protocol workings of the protocols that are behind these tokens, so to say. So and yeah, we are kind of don't believe in competition on these L2s because we are all in the same boat, so to say. So it's much better for everyone to kind of focus on growing the network effects of the entire like Ethereum network than it is to kind of focus on fighting with the competition, so to say, between like the option protocols and stuff like that.
Totally in agreement with that standpoint. And I think if I may build off that question, so like because it seems like like a relative, it seems again seems like a relatively light lift to have these different markets since you're not like technically integrating directly with them. You're more so just using like a chain link price oracle. Is there like any reason why like there can't be like literally markets for every type of Arbitrum native token, or are you guys trying to be a little more strategic with that in your listing?
Yeah, so we need to be mindful of safety, like and security, also when providing these markets. So, but I think like Chainlink really makes this job easy because Chainlink does not provide like price feeds for tokens that are too unsecure and too volatile to be built, like to have derivative products on top of them. So whatever is integrated in Chainlink as a price feed, it's safe for us to kind of deploy, but we need to be mindful of how much risk do we want to allow the AMM to take on these because they can be really volatile, and sometimes it's really hard to calculate and estimate the implied volatility for these assets based on the lack of, I don't know, on-chain liquidity maybe, or lack of like trading action and whatnot. And that's where we need to be careful, but we have integrated like caps on every asset, like how much risk can the AMM take from these specific assets. And natively the largest caps are on Ethereum and BTC and all these large assets which have like a good track record of being sustainable for across option protocols. And but we are kind of the first product that offers derivatives on these tokens, which are fairly new and fairly volatile. And we try to estimate the IV from comparing to Ethereum, like historical volatility, and DVOL. We use DVOL for that type of stuff. So, but yeah, we are doing well so far. And we do have also a solution where we can maybe use Uniswap VWAP price feed to offer some exotic markets for tokens that are not listed by Chainlink, but those are kind of rare, and we are really careful with it. We do our due diligence to see what is the on-chain volume, how sticky it is, like what's the probability that will have this liquidity exodus, and are there front runnable on tails and stuff like that. So we are kind of really careful with that. We are versatile in offering these tokens, but we are not too versatile to offer some tokens which can be dangerous for the liquidity of the AMM protocol, so to say. So yeah, we have this like middle ground somewhere there.
So in like a perfect world, essentially, like there's tons of liquidity going around for every a native token in that case. and also chain link price oracles, so that there really isn't that much kind of fear in terms of like, I guess, like an unstable price feed, right?
Yeah, definitely. So all you need is to kind of just estimate the implied volatility accurately and have like a token listed that cannot be manipulated by some bad actors like price manipulation and stuff like that, then you are good to go. Thales, like AMM, is pretty safe with these liquidity caps and safety measures, which are like we support on-demand liquidity only between the probabilities of 10% to 90%. And if if the probability leaves that range, the AMM automatically stops offering on-demand liquidity. And like the most profit you can get on Thales is 10x on your return, but also there is a cap of how much AMM can entail, talking about risk in SUSD value. So basically, if you have a cap for, let's say, 5,000 SUSD or USDC, as the case is on Arbitrum, 5,000 of total maximum risk for a certain market, you can only buy a specific amount of positional tokens, for example, like UP tokens, up until you risk the AMM out of 5,000 USDC. So if your position wins, you can mostly win. AMM can mostly lose like 5,000, and that's like just a basic example of how these caps work, and they are really effective into uh, limiting this amount of stuff. So if there is ever, but like the worst case scenario, if there is ever some attempt or some large volatility event that can cause a market to kind of really be easy to trade on Thales, and the risk is mitigated by these caps. And we have different caps set for different assets. So yeah, we are in a really good place to kind of showcase this exotic derivatives on Thales in a form of like example on Arbitrum, Dopex, and Magic. And maybe this list expands in the future. We are really we listen to the community always. And when we see a large interest from a certain community to have some new asset listed, we usually listen to the community and list that asset. So yeah, that's about it.
On that note of community, I'd like to, and I can already tell this may be even like another hour worth of conversation. So you can explain it in whatever best way you think. But I'd love to talk a little bit about Thales' governance and how it works. I think last I checked, there were like multiple DAOs within Thales. Can you maybe explain a little bit about how governance works?
Sure. So basically, we inherited most of our governance structure and framework from synthetics, and we really believe that synthetics was always kind of the best at optimizing governance for we inherited their way of seeing how governance in DeFi protocol should work. And on that note, we have like a protocol DAO, which is our DAO that controls all the smart contracts behind Thales and deployments. We have the Treasury DAO, which is obviously in control of the Treasury, and we have the main governing body, which controls everything, is the Thales Council, and the council is like 7 council members, which are elected by Thales stakers every 6 months. And this is, we believe, way more optimal way of governing the protocol than just like going with pure like stakers, like voting power deciding on all these decisions and improvement proposals. So we have an elected body of 7 community council members that are the main like driving force behind everything on Thales. So we have Thales improvement proposals, which are have all this framework on how do you propose an improvement proposal, and that way that is like funny enough, right now we are on the 100th deployed. Like we have 100 Thales improvement proposals, right now, and we will soon like launch them to vote and like have 100 voted in improvement proposals, which is a good milestone and showcase of our focus and on the like nailing this on-chain governance. And yeah, that's basically how our governance structure works. So you have this Thales Council elected by Thales stakers, and they are the main decision force behind like drafting these improvement proposals, putting them to vote and voted them in, and everything is done publicly. So people who are staking Thales have the best oversight of all the council members and all the new potential council members. And we really believe this is the most effective way of running a decentralized protocol by having this delegated type of governance structure. And also important to note that all the products that are built on top of Thales, such as like range markets, overtime markets, which are sports positioning and stuff like that, they are all ran by the same governance structure behind Thales. So even though overtime markets are this standalone product with its standalone front end and dedicated Twitter, dedicated UI, dedicated everything, it's still ran by the Thales governance structure, which is still the main like driving force behind it. And behind all of that is the Thales stakers and the Thales token also. So that is also important to kind of note. And yeah, so Thales, we have Thales is the governance token, maybe also important to mention. And you get like voting power for all the elections by staking Thales. And we also have this cool mechanism of awarding all Thales stakers. So we have base rewards for all stakers in the form of more Thales tokens accruing to your position. But you also have this gamified staking mechanism where people who stake Thales can get even more bonus rewards if they are active users of the protocol. So if you are staking Thales and you are using driving volume through all of our products on top, you can get like 50% of bonus rewards on top based on how much volume do you actually drive. And this initiative was we had a goal of having these super aligned users where people are incentivized to stake Thales, but also use the products and drive volume and learn more about Thales. And basically, that is the core of the Thales governance structure.
I feel like from like a bird's eye view, I think like just someone just like looking in, like from the outside, it's like wow, like there's like a lot of stuff going on here. But it seems like being that you guys were able to kind of take what was already working with synthetics and make it work, for Thales. It seems relatively elegant actually, even though there's a lot of moving parts.
Can you just go again? I'm having a lousy connection for some reason for the past like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, no worries. No, I was just saying that like, generally, I think someone from the outside looking in, it may seem kind of like this really kind of daunting, elaborate kind of governance system, whereas in reality, it's it almost because obviously you're able to take it from synthetics and make it work for Thales, that it just works perfectly essentially.
Oh yeah,
for your use case.
Yeah, definitely, and it's really you see it like everything falls into place. You see these council members like actively and publicly discussing these proposals, and they have an obligation towards the Thales staker that elected them and stuff like that. So it's a really like nice, but also it's a lot like more efficient system of running a protocol, and shipping code is also like governance does not slow down the progress is also that's important like feature here with this governance system. Like you don't want to your focuses on decentralization to slow down your growth. So it's important to we saw many protocols really shoot themselves in the foot, so to say, maybe too harshly, but yeah, that's how I see it. By just straight from the launch, every major like decision is voted in purely by token holders, and that can kind of be suboptimal and not really efficient. And also that is one of the like these point where this delegated governance structure really shines. And you see that organically the council or the elected members are really incentivized to do what's best for the community, because that same community are the ones who elected them in the first place and put them into that position and stuff like that. So yeah, we are really happy with the results, and we are really happy with the progress. Our developer team is also like really close with the governance structure, and every major decision regarding smart contracts and like treasury emissions or whatnot is entailed to act according to the council votes. So it's a really like functioning system, and we are kind of the living proof of it. So we are really happy with how things turns out, and I would suggest like this is the way to go. And at least for this bootstrap growth period, and like we are also constantly working towards and decentralizing more and more, like eventually having a fully on-chain governance where you don't have like you minimize the manual input of these proposals and stuff like that. So but those things take time, and yeah, I think we are on the right track, and I think maybe the results speaks for themselves, I guess. We are really happy with the progress on that front also.
So before we head into your roadmap and potentially community Q&A if we have time, um, I did kind of want to just throw in like I don't know a little bit of my thoughts here, and love to hear yours as a response. But I think so for those who haven't used the Thales app before, I implore you to, like right now if you can, go to the Twitter and like click on the link. I'm showing Thales a lot right now, but you'll understand why. If you look at their app, you'll notice that there are sections for obviously different types of markets that we spoke about. That you can deposit tokens into, but there are also sections for governance, as well as a literal like RPG game. Literally,
Oh, oh,
So,
that's a fun one. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really happy we got to that point. That is one of my favorite
please.
clicks on the paysmarket.io website, I must admit. So
Yeah,
do you want me to kind of maybe provide more details around that initiative?
yeah. I mean, honestly, I just wanted like your strategy, like when it came to just designing that page just generally. And yeah, if you want, you can dive into the game too, please.
Yeah, so if you visit the talismarket.io website, you enter the DApp, and you will see on the side menu a little like a clickable button that says Tale of Thales. And Tale of Thales was basically like a really spontaneous development. And we have this really valuable contributor to Thales that also happens to be a really talented game designer. And we were chatting. He's also like really active in the synthetics also. So, and we were like brainstorming, like, you know what? Let's try and build a nice little mini game that can be used as a really interactive tutorial of trading on Thales. And we have this sweet branding of like ancient Greece, like in like that is in brand with Thales from Miletus. And basically, the idea was let's develop this mini game where you can walk around the island of Miletus as Thales, character Thales, and basically just learn about trading these binary options or positional markets, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, I think it turned out really great. And also, I have a few alpha leaks on further developments of Tale of Thales. Uh, first of all, the entire vibe is like you even meet Vitalik Buterin. He comes from the future to take you to the future, like uh, and stuff like that. And it's really fun. But also, we also from the beginning had the idea of what if we create the Tale of Thales to be like a front end also for trading on Thales and adjacent products. Like, what if you can tap into the Thales smart contracts from the game itself, and the game itself can be used as basically like a small metaverse for the Thales protocol. And we are really deep into developing this solution, like basically multiplayer game, MMO, RPG, whatever it's called, where you can load up your character, walk around, chat with all these different community members that also have a character in the game. And you can also tap into Thales markets, range markets, even overtime markets and stuff like that by just like maybe walking into a specific house on the Miletus island and then prompting the UI front end and all the like transactions with your wallet and stuff like that. So, and we are really happy with the progress there. And yeah, I think we kind of nailed it in how to be interactive and offering this like super fun tutorial of how does trading binary options have in this like small story mode mini game. And please, guys, if you want to learn more about Thales, all of you listening, visit the Tale of Thales page and walk around the Miletus as Thales and trade some olive oil options and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, it's the most fun part of you know the entire onboarding experience to Thales, I must admit.
Genius, by the way. I had to bring that up. I had to. um, I think then in that case, maybe tell us a little bit about the Thales roadmap. Obviously there are a couple of markets, like you said, deployed on Arbitrum today, but what can we expect from the Thales team, in the next couple of weeks, months?
Sure. So basically, Thales Market, the marketplace around crypto prices, is our most mature product, and right now we are really exploring the expansion of on different chains, and just capturing user bases, capturing more volume, and we are right now deployed on Optimism, Polygon, and Arbitrum, and we are also exploring to can't like talk about details yet, but we are really exploring to expand on more networks where we can flourish and deploy new markets. And maybe also the latest development I forgot to mention are the discounts. So we have this Q impact mechanism that offers like also some risk alleviation for the Thales AMM, but also we have a discount on positions where you can if you want to position for on Thales, if you see that the position is discounted, that means that the AMM is trying to prioritize selling that position so it can get itself in balance more, but you as an end user get a more profitable terms of your position. You get more return because you helped the AMM return to balance for like taking the other end of some other trade that someone did with AMM. So that is also an important development. And yeah, regarding Arbitrum, we will continue to kind of push for more markets, push for more products. And I must also admit that the major like development and the major focus of the Thales protocol right now is the overtime markets product. And that product, you can check it out on overtimemarket.xyz. And there you can see that we are offering like a plethora of these various sports offerings, not only like team sports, but also like Formula One racing. We have this also MotoGP and stuff like that. And we are actively working on expanding that product as it's like a flagship that can potentially capture more users. And eventually that product is also going to you will be able to trade on that product across multiple networks, basically, because that's the only way you can capture the wide user base that we want. And we are also exploring like these new emerging technologies, such as like message signing across chains, which can maybe allow Thales product to have a central hub of liquidity on a certain network, but you can trade on those like on the same markets from another network by just signing these cross-chain messages and stuff like that. That is also one of the like developments that we are trying to explore. And yeah, for like the Thales markets, up and down range markets, we are actively working towards like expanding the liquidity. The next major milestones are vaults launch, and vaults are these like automated strategies where you can just deposit collateral into these contracts, and these contracts do the automated trading strategies on top of Thales markets. For example, like short volatility, discount chaser, and stuff like that. So those are one of the maybe few examples that would be launched the soonest. That is one launch that we are, really excited about, and we are also exploring and doing feasibility testing of solutions where people can provide liquidity themselves for Thales, because right now we are still deploying liquidity and collateral for these markets from the treasury. So we will either open up the AMM towards like third-party deposits, or we will have like a vault that mimics the AMM exposure, and that way you can also position yourself to act like an AMM and try to mimic the performance of the AMM. And yeah, for the overtime markets, there is like the heaviest roadmap is on that side. We are launching, I think parlays are the closest one. So parlays is the system like on-chain solution to parlays where you can position, uh, chain multiple like positions or bets, whatever you want to call them, into a single position, and you basically are offered like leverage on these sports events where you have a chain of maybe 4 games, and if you guess correctly all 4 games, for example, you have like this really large return. But if only one of these games you miss your position, then the entire chain collapses and you lose your position. So this is a concept that is really popular on like for everyone who is familiar with sports positioning or sports betting. And we designed a really elegant solution on chain for those. And off the bat, we will support a maximum of 4 games to be chained up. And as things progress and we mature as a product, we will increase the caps, increase all the like these safety limits that we have and stuff like that. So and yeah, that's it. And as we are still like really early, and all of these products are really early, and you can consider them all uh, you know not they're not yet to their full potential, and we are really constantly improving. So you can expect also new products to be launched on Arbitrum as we get happy with the progress we have on those, and as things mature. And yeah, but so far with the limited launch we had on Arbitrum so far, we are really happy with the turnout of users and the volume so far and stuff like that. So I think you can safely say that things are looking really optimistic for us on Arbitrum network as well, so to say. So
No pun intended.
yeah, no pun intended. But yeah, I mean, who knows how the entire space will look like in the short future? Like these are like, it's crazy to work in DeFi because everything moves so quickly, and in 6 months, like the entire landscape changes, and you always have to be adaptable. And but yeah, we have like a pretty solid strategy of how we want to proceed with capturing, as I said, the the most like as much user base as possible, basically. So yeah.
Totally got you there, and yeah, that is definitely a beefy roadmap. So that's great to hear. Uh, I think just in the interest of time, it probably makes sense to kind of close out here. But for those who are, or for those who do have any questions, or those who want to join the Thales community in any way, what's the best way for them to go ahead and do that?
So yeah, we do have like a really vibrant community, and we try to, go by the ethos that everything we do is for the community. So the best way to maybe join is to head out to our official Twitter, and from there on, you can find a link towards our Discord. You can find a link to the Thales Market site, and also like a tale of Thales is right there, like staring you in the face, inviting you to have fun while learning of Thales. But yeah, follow our Twitter account, which is Thales Market. Uh, that is the handle, and there you can see our Discord link, which is discord.gg/Thales. And you can visit our website, which is thalesmarket.io, and from there on you can connect to your network of choice. We are currently live on Optimism, Arbitrum, and Polygon. There is also overtimemarkets.xyz, which is the sport positioning product we have. And for any questions, any help, any support around those products, and if you want to learn more about the products, the token, and everything else, please visit us on Discord, and we are really kind of active there, and trying to support everyone who wants to learn more about Thales. So those are kind of the most important links. And also you can learn more by visiting documentation sites, which are docs.overtime markets.xyz. Those are the documentations for the sports positioning platform, and for the crypto derivatives platform, it's docs.thalesmarket.io you want to visit. And I guess I covered them all. Those are the most important links. But if you can find them also all on Discord, which is our main community gathering place. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Pavle, I appreciate you for coming on today and schooling us on Thales. And yeah, it was appreciated. It was a very, very, very in-depth conversation, and I think stuff like this is just so cool to learn about. Some of the newest protocols building on Arbitrum, and I'm sure everyone in the audience agrees as well.
Yeah, and it feels good to be a product that kind of offers this novel way of trading on the network, such as Arbitrum and all the other networks, because we always love to kind of present ourselves as a really novel and fun way of participating into this kind of markets.
100%. Thanks for coming on today. See you all in the next one.
Thank you for hosting me, and happy to be here with the Arbitrum community as well. And thank you, guys.
Peace.